Hi everybody, my name's Michael Robson, but if you see me out in the stands, feel free to call me Mickey. I think I only ever get Michael at the weekends if I've done something wrong off the parents, which is pretty much most weekends then really. But my name's Mickey and I'm from Virgin Media O2. I work for the Future Careers Department, where we offer a huge range of apprenticeships, which we're going to run through just a sort of tip of the iceberg stuff here as well. So again, feel free that if anything tweaks your interest throughout this presentation and you want to come and ask us more questions, we are just literally outside the door there. But yeah, Marketa, do you want to do a quick intro of yourself?
Of course. Hi everyone, I'm Marketa Loha. I'm a channel marketing manager and I'm also ex-apprentice at Virgin Media O2. I did a project management apprenticeship. So if anyone is interested in that, I'm your gal. Please ask us any questions after the presentations or at our stand.
Fantastic. So we will give you some top level information. One thing I will say is if anyone's sitting in the audience today thinking, do you know what, I really don't know what I want to do. I think there's an apprenticeship out there for me, but I just don't know what that looks like. Then we are absolutely that company to maybe come and engage today. We pride ourselves on what we call squiggly path careers. So today you might think to yourself, this is the apprenticeship that I want to do. And that apprenticeship might last for 24, 36 months, whatever that might be. And then do you know what? After that time, you might then think, while doing that, I've looked at this sort of role over here and that looked really interesting. I want to jump over and give that a go as well. So because we're such a massive company and we have so many different levels, departments, there really is a role in apprenticeship for everyone. But please don't worry if you're sitting there thinking, what do I want to do for the next 30 years? If you had asked me that 21 years ago, which is how long I've worked for the company, I didn't have a clue. What I did know, this is a brilliant company to work for. It's a company that I could have a longevity career with. And by doing and getting my foot in the door, if you like, when I used to work with a headset on in a call center, I did not think I'd be standing here 21 years later speaking in front of an audience like that. So please don't worry if you're sitting there a bit in awe about what do I want to do. That's probably 90% of you right now. Cool. So a little bit about us. So we are Virgin Media O2. And around 3 years ago now, two iconic brands sort of came together, joined forces, which was Virgin Media and O2. Together, we combined, we are the largest sort of UK mobile network, as well as the fastest network for offering broadband, fastest speeds, and the most widely available as well. We're the first company, if you split this sort of into two, we sort of are a company that does consumer customers and also business customers. Consumer, what does that mean? Well, it just seems, people in the houses, we offer home telephone, broadband, TV, mobile, and because now the two huge companies have joined together, we offer fantastic packages to all. And that's probably what most people in the market will see. Underneath that, thinking about apprenticeships, we have apprenticeships in them areas, but we also have the infrastructure underneath, whether that be, say, cybersecurity, because we need to protect our channels, whether that be actually putting the cables out there in the field, maybe an engineer, something like that, and lots of different things as well, but very much in that consumer world. Marketa, though, would you like to talk a little bit about the business side?
Absolutely. So as Mickey said, we have consumer division and we also have a business, which is my home. So Virgin Media Business O2 Business, sorry, is actually division of the company that sells our internet, the connectivity onto businesses to support them with their day-to-day functions, also to support their customers. So if you go to, let's say we are here today, so we are at the university, they have internet here, right, from BT, unfortunately, just kidding. And they are actually, in our eyes, they are a business. We are talking to the university, we are providing them an internet. So that is what the business division do. I personally work in wholesale, so that even more is specialized. We are actually selling the underlying a service. Let's say if you purchase your Microsoft software for your laptop, some companies would like to purchase the Microsoft, they would like to have the connectivity to connect their building. So we are basically selling to those people who then resell it onto their end customers.
Lovely, thank you, Marketa. So as you can see, we're quite wide-reaching in areas and opportunities. I think also this screen is about giving you a little sense of what we are as a company and some of the values that we hold dear and close to us. Because we really do believe that sort of technology is constantly showing us that we're better when we're connected. To help us tackle this, we have something called our Better Connections Plan. So there's a few ambitious plans on here, and of course there's lots of different levels underneath these. But as you can see, as a company by 2040, we're looking to have a net zero carbon emission values across all value chains. 6 million people will be equipped with skills and tools to be connected in that digital sort of world. Zero waste by 2025. We want 1 million people to be who are digitally excluded across the UK to be through sort of our targeted programs as well. By 2025, we want to help tackle e-waste head on with 10 million circular actions. So what does that mean? Well, quite simply, we have things like digital boxes that we have to put into people's houses. If that person then is no longer with us, how can we dispose of that in an environmentally friendly way by maybe remanufacturing it or disposing of it? Through decarbonisation projects, we want to prevent 20 million tonnes of CO2 entering the Earth's atmosphere, and we're very passionate that 25% of Virgin Media O2's wider organisation will be from minoritized ethnic groups, as well as equal representation of women and men in the company's wider leadership by 2027. You might notice I skipped over one there for the eagle-eyed. We want 1 million people to be supported through our volunteering initiative, Take 5 by 2025. Marketa, do you want to give a little bit more information on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So volunteering is definitely something I'm very passionate about, and I like to take advantage of that. Our communities in Virgin Media O2, we like to give back, and this is actually one of the examples of our volunteering. This was actually in Petersburg National Park. We were taking care of some of the trees, and then we had this amazing team building activity, which you can see on the right, when we were building rafts, and failing spectacularly in that. But yeah, so this is one of the activities, but you can sort of do whatever you like. You can even go and help your street, for example. If you have any neighbors that might be maybe a little bit older, you can dedicate some volunteering time to that. Support them with shopping. We used lots of that during COVID as well to kind of support people around us. So it's actually endless opportunities for volunteering.
Fantastic, thank you, Marketa. So again, that was just to sort of show you a little bit about the company values and something that when you're in apprenticeship, what could you be supporting as a company, what sort of drives us forward and what we're passionate about. And certainly these volunteering days, you can do it as a business, in a group, as a part of your team, but also individually. It's something that might be sort of near and dear to you as your heart, a charity that maybe really resonates with you as well. So again, joining us on an apprenticeship is not just the black and white of do the job, earn the qualification. You open up the door to working for Virgin Media O2, which has opportunities to get out there and do some pretty cool, fun stuff as well for the community. So what you're probably here to listen to a bit more about is our apprentices. So our apprenticeships will give you a sort of whistle-stop tour overall. They've established since 2008, so this is not new to us as a company. We've got a well-established, really sort of bespoke procedure that we go through. They can vary in length from 15 months all the way through to 4 years, depending on the level of apprenticeship that you want to go for. And our starting salaries range from 22,500 all the way through to 30,000. And that's your starting salary. So with most apprenticeships, you'll start on a certain salary, and then you get a 12-month uplift as you move through, and then you also get a landing salary as well. So these salaries that you can see are the starting ones. Typically, we go to market all year round. So a common question we're getting asked is, are yours live now? The reality is, as we stand here today, we don't have a live apprenticeship on our site, but for every apprenticeship, we always list it all year round because there's a register your interest button. And all you do is you go on the site, if you see one that you like the look of, you hit register your interest, and quite simply, we just ask you for your name and an email address. Should that apprenticeship then become available next month, maybe in a few months' time, we will email you directly saying, hey, you're interested in that apprenticeship, would you now like to apply for it? Just making it super simple so you don't have to constantly go back to the website, hit refresh, and hope that one becomes available. And you can also register interest for as many apprenticeships on there as you see fit. It's a permanent contract from day one. Super cool, maybe very understated. A lot of companies out there, you do the apprenticeship and then you have to sort of reapply for the job that you've technically already proven yourself in for the last 24, 36 months. At Virgin, we value you from day one and we give you a full-time contract. So when you achieve that apprenticeship, whether it be in 24, 36 months, you roll off the apprenticeship with the qualification, but into that full-time role that you've been doing from day one. No re-interviews, no reapplying. That job is yours and you've been doing it for that period of time. Why wouldn't we reward you with that full-time job? And like I say, it's working while you're earning. So of course we pay you some good salaries while you're earning that qualification as well.
Yeah, and just to add to that, we have a very wide range of schemes. So we go through field engineering, project management, DevOps, IT, marketing. I might be a little bit biased, but if you ask me, project management is the best. But as you can see, we have very wide range and anyone can sort of find what they want to do. What I like to advertise as well, that I'm very surprised Mickey is not doing, is that we have a Match Me tool as well. So if you're a little bit unsure what you want to do in the future, you can head to our website and answer a few very short questions about how you like to work, how do you like to interact with people, and then it just gives you a few options that maybe you haven't thought about. And then when you read through the explanations of those jobs, you might be like, oh, I haven't thought about this. I might actually have a further look at those jobs. So highly recommend it. It hasn't been available during my time, but I went back and did that anyway. And it really popped the project management apprenticeship that I was on. So I was like, cool, got that right.
Excellent, thank you. And also the development and support that you get. So from day one, you get a 2-day core induction. So when we bring people in cohorts, whether it be 5 people all the way through to say 100 people, we'll bring you in for a 2-day virtual induction where we'll introduce you to our brand values, talk about your roles, get you to interact with your fellow apprentices as well. So you're not isolated from day one. You very much will get to meet your fellow apprentices from day one. Of course, you get that on-the-job training, you get buddies, you get managers, you get people dedicated from my team in the future careers, and also you get the future careers committee as well. And these people are put together from former or current apprentices, grads, interns. Again, just having that wider community that, of course, your line managers will support you with the day-to-day, but sometimes you might need that extra support when it comes to achieving the apprenticeship. So you can talk to people who've sort of, walk the walk, talk the talk. And I'm not going to lie, they have some fantastic social events, which I'm very happy to get invited to as well. You get the dedicated industry recognised qualification by the end of it. Of course, you are studying towards that qualification, so you get that at the end. And then we have a pretty intense graduation party at the end as well, which is all good. So where could you work? We get asked this quite often. And the reality is I'm going to be a little bit fluffy with this answer because we have a lot of hybrid working. So sometimes you could be working from home while maybe doing a couple of days at home, a couple of days in the office. Of course, we have locations advertised on our jobs. So some will be specific to an area. So we're in Manchester today. If it said Manchester, then it would be within a commutable distance from that location. But there is a lot of roles which will have a location on it, but also say open to discussion as well. So for example, I'm from Newcastle, my team are all in Reading, and quite simply, I just commute to Reading every couple of months, whereas all the rest of the time I'm working from home in the role that I do. So it is a fluffy answer because I'd love to say that's the one defined answer, but the reality is we're very, very flexible. So if you're the right person, we see the potential in you, we can then talk about the ways of working a little further down the line as well, because what works for you will hopefully work for us as well. We touched on this a little bit. This is just a little bit of our virtual induction. We thought it'd be quite nice for you to see how it looks. So there's us a little bit in front of the camera, behind the camera, but this is obviously streamed out to everyone who was brought in this year, sitting behind the scenes, and everyone was at home doing this 2-day induction as well. A little bit of a breakdown. So we do the 2-day induction. Again, as you progress through, you'll find that you'll interact with your training provider. So you have your training provider dedicated from your apprenticeship. They usually meet up with you maybe once, twice a month, and you work through a learning portal. So you'll literally be putting in your evidence each month, sitting down with them, doing one-to-ones, where you're at with your apprenticeship, how you're feeling, supporting you all the way through. And the good news is for the majority of our apprenticeships, You work on that portal each month. You get to the end of your apprenticeship, and if anyone like me, I struggle to remember what I did last week, let alone 12 or 18 months ago, they tend to ask you questions like, tell me a time when you've done X, Y, and Z. And actually, rather than having to use the brain and remember everything, you can go into that portal and go, there it is there. That's what I did. I evidenced it 12 months ago, and that goes towards qualifying and getting the apprenticeship as well. So pretty cool that you get all that support in as well. So we'll support you throughout the whole duration. At the end, you'll enter in something called your EPA, your endpoint assessment, which again, you'll get the full training provider support. Whereas if anything needs an exam, we can support you with the revision for that. Or like I say, if it's evidence-based, it'll be talking you through how you can pull that from that portal. And then again, there's us celebrating at the end again in that graduation.
So, it's my turn now, and I will be here talking a little bit about my journey, because I said I'm an ex-apprentice, and you probably can guess by now that I haven't been born in this country. I came from this beautiful country. This is Prague. This is Prague, and I came here to actually study university. So I finished university around 2019. At the time, I was pretty much burned out because I was studying full-time, working full-time. I also decided to do sommelier exams, which is basically wine expert exams, which are quite hard. And during this time, I was also applying to graduate schemes. During this time, I actually found Virgin Media O2, and I fall in love with the culture, with everything. So you can imagine that when I got my rejection from the scheme, I was heartbroken. But I was like, no, they're not gonna get rid of me that easily. So you know what, I'm gonna apply to apprenticeship. And you guessed it correctly, I was successful. I stand here today and I was successful. This is my first day in the company. I've never seen my images this big ever in my life. I had incredible start, even though it was in the middle of the COVID. I had amazing support from my team from day one. This is my line manager. I learned my job completely from the scratch throughout the COVID, virtually through Teams, but it was still very good experience. I have an experience being a graduate from university and being an apprentice. And my humble opinion, when I now look back at that, is that if I had an opportunity to go to apprenticeship straight away, I wouldn't waste a second, because I really wanted to kickstart my career. And now I'm standing here. I'm not gonna say my age, but I'm probably older than you think. And I just wished I'd done this sooner. I didn't have the same opportunity like you guys, because I came to this country as a student from Europe. But I've met so many amazing people. This is our Future Careers community. And that's something I sort of want to close on. If you have any questions, as I said, please feel free to come to us. I'm happy to talk to you more about my journey. This was really just a whistle stop to sort of give you a little taste. And I hand back over to Mickey.
Awesome, and I've got to top that. There we go. Excellent. But we thought it was really important to show a bit of a journey, because of course we could stand in front of you and tell you what a great company this is to work for, showcase all the apprenticeships up in bullet points and things like that. But actually, I think hearing from someone who's actually walked the walk, talked the talk, and done this, and you can see actually how quickly you can fast track by being an apprentice within our company. Again, very much around that squiggly path career. So I have just got a couple more slides to go through, and I think it's more just of an interest than anything else. So I'll go through fairly quickly. The recruitment process, if anyone was interested, we are a company that puts you through an application form, you do an online test, a telephone interview, and should you be successful and at them stages, then we have a coaching call to prepare you for an assessment centre. Now it sounds a lot scarier than what it is. The reality is we do a welcome session, we keep it very light touch, we do group exercises, individual exercises, and interviews as well. We're very focused, and we've done a lot of hard work on this to focus on strengths-based assessing. So what we mean by that is, again, leading into that we were looking for potential. Let's be honest, if we sat down in front of you, this audience, and started asking you for work experience, tell me about a time when you've done this, and tell me, well, we're not going to get much back, because the reality is we shouldn't, and you shouldn't expect to have that experience yet. So we're looking for that potential, that passion, that drive to want to develop, work for us as a career. So some benefits. And then I will wrap up because I'm conscious of time. So benefits, Marquette, I'm just going to fly through some of these. As mentioned, we've got the starting salaries there. You get 25 days holiday, a standard, but you can also buy and sell up to 3 days holiday as well. Some people struggle to take 25, believe it or not, so we'll pay you for any that you don't take, or vice versa, you can increase your holiday allowance by taking out your salary as well. We've got some great DE&I networks at Virgin Media O2, but you also get your birthday day off as well. Not out of the 25 days, it's a bonus day. Why? Because who wants to work on their birthday, right? If your birthday falls at the weekend, fear not, we simply move it to a Friday or a Monday, so you have a long weekend to really, really enjoy your birthday. As well as you've got access to private healthcare, you get permanent contracts from day one, as I mentioned earlier. Marketa, would you like to run through the others?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I am very money conscious, so I take care, I really take our pension plan a lot. So basically Virgin Media contributes the same amount. We also have lots of discounts through all of our Virgin brands, and also some more benefits, like, let's say, discounts on groceries, very, very good ones. I use that probably every single day. And we also have lots of learning available for you as well. So we have LinkedIn Learning, we have Pluralsight that you can upskill. I'm actually looking forward to do prompting of AI course on that one. And you also that learning doesn't finish there. If you're interested in more qualification, business is very supportive at providing you with more development, then you can actually do more qualifications afterwards.
Awesome, thank you. Last slide. So at Virgin Media O2, we're extremely passionate and proud to be as inclusive as possible through our DE&I networks. And you can just see some of them on the screen there. So we've got the Women's Network, we've got Proudly, We Care, Neurodiversity, Enrich, and Ultraviolence. Some of these might speak for themselves, but for example, we've got We Care. So to support any carers within our work who maybe have some dependencies outside of work, we're very open to supporting that in the best way that we can. Everything that we do, we have neurodiversity at our heart. So when I talked a little bit earlier about the assessment centres, this is just one element. Someone coming in who might have extra special requirements, we'll listen to that and maybe say extend the time that they have to do maybe the activities and things like that as well. So loads and loads of great stuff on there. The Ultraviolet to support disability within work. We'll always listen to every case and be open and honest with how we can support within as well. But again, if there's anything on there when we're out at the stand that you want to talk a little bit more about, very happy to do that as well. So I think that just about wraps us up. I don't think we open up to the audience. I think especially based on time, I'm probably going to get hooked off in a second. So if you do have any questions, we are at the stall just around the corner. Feel free to come and ask us anything. You've got a QR code there which you can scan to see the opportunities, as well as it is displayed on our stall as well. But thank you very much for listening to us. And again, any questions, feel free to ask us in a moment. Thank you.